Are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Welcome to Revival Survival, the podcast that looks at franchise revivals, reboots, remakes, and reimaginings. On the show, we take a look at history, canon, and the changing media landscape culture, what it means to live in a post-original content world. I'm Nathan Grayjack.
And I'm Eric Sajak.
And today we're going to be talking about the beloved character of Spider-Man. Please note that we'll be looking at major licensed films only, the three versions that are out there, not any cartoons or other projects that might be floating around.
It's way past our pay grade.
Alright, I'm going to give us a little bit of background about the Spider-Man franchise. We saw our first major Spider-Man movie in 2002 with Tobey Maguire, which had two sequels running into 2007. Just a few years later, we had The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, started in 2012 and went until 2014. Just 2 years after that, a newly rebooted Spider-Man for the third time premiered in Captain America Civil War, and had his own movie in Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017 with Tom Holland. And sequels are in the works, and he's going to be in and out of the other Marvel Cinematic Universe or MCU movies.
It's about time.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is, as always, a spoiler zone. So that brings us to the next segment. What led to this revival? So, as we know, Sony's had the movie rights to Spider-Man for a long time.
For a while, yeah.
And that's right back before Marvel had its movie company for their making movies of their own. They sold the movie rights to X-Men, to Fox, Spider-Man to Sony, for example, and they started making the original Tobey Maguire movies. And finally, we got to see him come on home to the MCU and premiere in Civil War. So that's kind of what led to this latest revival, was the deal struck between Marvel and Sony. And many fans are very happy. I was very excited about it
yes,
when I heard about the news.
We can only hope for X-Men now.
Yeah. Well, Disney bought Fox.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that we won't see it happen eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still X-Verse movies, X-Men Universe movies coming out because they've been planned and being made. Obviously, Deadpool's a huge success, so the sequel's coming out on schedule. We saw a trailer for it recently. And then there's a few more. There's what's that? Whether it's like a horror movie with X-Men.
Oh, gosh. It's like, shoot, I don't remember.
I can't remember what it's called.
I saw a commercial for it.
Yeah, I saw a quick trailer for it.
Yeah.
It was like Young Mutants, but it was New Mutants.
Is that what it was?
I think it was New Mutants.
New Mutants, okay.
But it was like a horror type film.
Interesting.
That franchise has been going even longer than the MCU franchise. It's been since the 90s, I think, since the first X-Men movie came out, and it's still in the same thing. So I think they're just trying to find something new to do.
Right.
But now that Disney bought that back, I mean, how long till we see them in the MCU? I mean, are they going to be rebooted? Like, is it going to be some weird dimensional thing? I mean, who knows? Comic books, anything can happen.
Because I thought they said that, what's his name that plays Logan? He said he was done after the one he did.
Sure.
Or so he's like, I would come back, but I wanted to end it right there or something. He's done it forever.
Yeah, after that Logan movie, the old man Logan movie. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing it he was in the first one, he was in all of them, so that makes sense. Yeah. If they did to me, I feel like the only way they could do it would just be reboot all the characters and bring them into the MCU totally fresh, no baggage, just like they did with Spider-Man after The Amazing Spider-Man, and then just a couple of years before that, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I mean, they were talking about with The Amazing Spider-Man, especially Part 2, they were trying to start their own Spider-Verse from there. Yeah. You could tell a lot of little dropping hints back and left and right, it seemed like, to bring in new movies. What's kind of funny about that is now Venom, the trailer for that just came out. Yep. And it's like, it's in the new Spider-Verse, but it's Sony's version. Is it going to be connected to the MCU, or is it not going to be now? Like,
I don't know.
I was looking up that question online, and no one seems to know the answer.
Yeah, because there's just, and not only that, but I think it takes place in a different city, right? The creation of Venom was, because Spider-Man is New York City, obviously. But then
Spider-Man is New York City.
He is New York City. He was always standing in front of an American flag. Yeah. No, but Venom, I want to say it was California. It was like San Francisco. In the trailer, they show it or something, but I can't remember exactly what it was. So there may not even be a cameo. I have no idea, but it might just be an origin story of Venom.
Yeah, it could be.
So
still
interesting.
Yeah, the question is will it be its own thing? Will it be somehow connected to the Amazing Spider-Man? That'd be strange. Yeah. Or would Tom Holland's Spider-Man make an appearance and make it somehow connected to the MCU?
I'm assuming it's the Tom Holland universe.
Right, that would make the most sense. But that opens up a whole can of worms, and they have to stay within MCU.
Right.
Like, I don't even know. It's just, it's a lot of questions. And I don't know. We won't know the answer till it comes out, I guess.
Right. But I'm excited about the casting. I think that was the biggest thing.
I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name for the life of me. Dunkirk. He did so many amazing movies. I don't know, whatever. Okay.
I'm bad at the names like that, so.
Well, I was writing down names to make sure I remembered, and that's the one I didn't do.
What is that?
Papa Giorgio.
I got like 4 comments people saying, you didn't edit that out when he said to edit it out. In the last episode, I was like, I edited out like 6 times he said that. I left one of them in.
We thought it was funny.
It was funny.
Yeah. I want to get on something right here because I love the fact that they had to create the Department of Damage. Yeah. That, like, in a bureaucracy, it just is so funny to me that they do so much damage they have to. I mean, where's that in the Michael Bay movies? You know,
exactly.
I laughed so hard when I saw
it. It was a great realistic nod to like for a while there was talking about being a TV show, kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
About people that they do cleanup. They're like the cleanup crew.
Okay.
And I don't think it ever got launched, but they're talking about it for a while there. And it kind of I wonder if the threads got pulled into that a little bit. It was it really humanized the villains that way, and it just fleshed out the world. Yeah. You have these superheroes and aliens fighting all the time in New York City and everywhere else. It just makes sense that they would have to do something.
You never see that. That's like there's a game on Steam called something Cleanup, and you're a space janitor, and you go through and you clean up all the blood and dismembered bodies from like Doom. You go through the levels, and that's all you do is you just clean up after everybody. That's exactly what I thought. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, it was great. I definitely want to talk more about how that fits in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Michael Keaton's character and everything.
So how about coming back to its roots? He's finally the right age.
Yeah.
After two different people, he's finally the right age, and it seems original. It seems like they're actually trying this time. I know people did like the other Spider-Mans, of course, but it's perfect in my opinion. Just his acting, the way they do it, the way they film it, it's right where it should be. What do you think? Yeah,
I loved Homecoming. It was definitely one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Yeah.
Civil War, which also had Spider-Man in it, was my favorite so far. Yep. So it was great to see kind of continue that. I loved the opening film by Peter Parker where he talked about that fight scene from his point of view.
Yes.
We saw it from the the grown-ups talking kind of thing. Let
mom and dad talk for a minute, will you?
You saw it from the grown-up point of view,
right.
the kind of overhead view, but then to see it again from his point of view was really fun, really satisfying.
Did you ever hear that Star Wars?
Hear the movie Empire Strikes Back? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's like 14 at the time. Yeah. It's weird to think.
Yeah, it is very strange. I do like that they went back to web shooters, and he wasn't actually like making them out of his hand.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, like in Tobey Maguire movies. The second one's there. Amazing Spider-Man. He was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's true to form. Makes sense. It's a good way to show off how brilliant he is.
Right.
You see him, in class sketching out web fluid and experimenting with the limited materials he has. It seems realistic that way, but also shows just how smart. Even without the spider bite, Peter Parker is, a genius kid. So it's really nice to kind of be able to showcase that.
Not only that, but it's great that we, in most of the quote-unquote origin stories, bypass the original story that's been told 100,000 times, the Uncle Ben. I mean, I liked the first version of that. I thought that was, in the Tobey Maguire, it was pure, it was sad. But it's just like Batman, where you show his parents dying every single movie.
Yeah.
We get it. They're dead.
Yeah.
It just takes time away from the story, and I'm glad they didn't even broach it. I love that.
I was convinced there was going to be a flashback to something.
Oh, I was sure.
Because I was like, well, in Civil War, he was already Spider-Man, so they can't go back and start it earlier, but I guess they can do a flashback.
Right.
I was convinced it would be a scene, but it wasn't. They barely mentioned anything. I can't remember if they even said to him about a bite or not.
He talked about it.
It was brief. Okay. It was the way to go. I mean, people were fatigued, and that was really the fault of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movies. They were just not good.
Yeah.
I did not like them at all, and they fatigued people of Spider-Man. I had people that are more casual fans than you or I.
Yeah.
At work being like, "Oh, another Spider-Man movie. I've seen too many of those." And I'm like, no, but you don't understand. This one's in the MCU. This is from now on, it's not going to reboot it. I was like trying to defend it, and they just didn't get it. They were like, but it's another Spider-Man movie. There's been 5 since I've been watching movies in theaters. Right. So like, if it wasn't for those 2, people I think would have been way more excited about it. Probably would have grossed a lot more. more.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was such a good movie, it deserved to gross more.
Of course.
That they had to make more. And the thing is, they had to make more.
Yeah.
They had to, because it's when you license properties like that, there's usually clauses you have to make movies every so many years, or you lose, it reverts back to the original holder.
Oh, okay.
So Sony had to make more Spider-Man movies, or they would have lost the license.
Plus, he's such a big plot point in Infinity Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not only Spider-Man, but the X-Men, which we're most likely not going to see in Infinity Wars, but
No.
they were a huge part of fighting Thanos in the comic books.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, in a way, they have to, because they're going to the Thanos thing. So I'm excited to see him in Infinity Wars. I want to see how he works out. Yeah, I'm just disappointed we can't see X-Men.
Yeah, it's a bummer the sale, the Disney acquisition of Fox didn't happen sooner to see that.
Yeah.
There'll be more.
Just
I mean,
time.
there's already the Untitled,
Yep.
what is it, Avengers 4 coming up.
Yep.
So
this is what scares me. I know we're not on this subject yet, but Thanos is like the supreme bad guy. I hope that he doesn't die like a bitch. Can I say bitch?
no, not in that way.
If he even does die. Yeah, exactly. I don't. Who knows if he's gonna die? But I'm really scared they make him too weak. I mean, because again, in the comic books, it took not only all of the Avengers, the Guardians, the X-Men, everybody.
Right.
You know. So I don't know. I hope it's not too. I'm glad it's 2 movies, but I hope it's not too weak.
I hope he dies of death fit of Thanos.
Yeah, befitting of his stature.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit how this iteration of Spider-Man is different than other ones.
Okay.
What stuck out to you?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing would be his age. Everything that he's doing matches with what his age would be. He's a sophomore in high school when we see him. You know, he's worried about not being or doing band or doing the competition they were in. I can't remember. The academic decathlon. Yeah, just things like that. You know, and obviously he's looking up to Tony Stark. You know, he's in the internship, quote unquote. And I love that. That's something that really separated, I feel.
Tony was like his Uncle Ben.
Basically, yeah. It was his father figure, and of course he looked at. I mean, Happy was kind of the in between, but. No matter
Happy
what.
Hogan.
Yeah. No matter what he did, no matter how many times Happy didn't answer, Tony always knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
When he revealed the truth, he mentioned offhand, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like if I was Peter right then, I would have started crying.
I know.
Like he does listen to all my messages.
Right. It was strange. I don't think he was ready for it. I mean, the hug.
Okay. That wasn't a hug.
I know it wasn't a hug, but he thought it was, and that he doesn't have a father, so right. I don't know. I felt that was very heartwarming, as opposed to like the Tobey Maguire's, where he was already established. I think he was a senior. He was pretty high up in high school because they were graduating the next year.
Yeah.
And moving to New York, and he's becoming a photographer. So
not to mention the actor is way older.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Same with Garfield.
Garfield, yeah.
He was way older.
Yeah, they were pretty much done with it and moving on. So I mean, you can't replace William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. I feel like he's the definitive Green Goblin.
Yeah. Well, think about him and Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Both of them were scarier.
Yes.
As the people, not the villain.
Yeah.
They're scary as themselves
right.
without masks on. William Dafoe did an excellent job being just scary.
Yes.
And then Michael Keaton upped it even more. Like, a whole scene, from the time he answered the door on homecoming night to when he got out of the car after he gave him the talk with the gun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my stomach didn't stop hurting.
Right.
Like, I was scared the whole time.
Right. I mean, it took him those few moments there to figure out, okay, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And that's super scary, especially when...
Yeah, Michelle was dropping lots of hints, yeah.
Exactly, and yeah, you're right. Like, it was completely believable.
Just the way that Tom Holland was looking, the look on his face was just pure terror. And then knowing what he's going on, so you get to see Peter's point of view, you get your as a viewer point of view, and it's like they're both making you scared as the viewer. Right. And then then when he starts like swinging that knife around the kitchen, he doesn't even know yet. Right. He's just like he's scary anyway. Yeah. And once he figures it out and he pulls that gun on the seat and he's like, all right, I'm clearly dead. Like it was like he will do it, even though he killed one person the whole movie and it was on accident. Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I believed him.
Yeah, because up until this point, Tom Holland saw his face, but the Vulture or his character Toomes hadn't seen Peter Parker's face.
Right.
So it's like the whole. As soon as the door opened, it was like fear, complete fear, and he was engulfed by it the entire time. Couldn't even give the girl his corsage.
Yeah, I mean, it was so he did such a good job acting that. It wasn't overplayed. It was just like perfect.
Perfect. I loved it. What do you?
More differences. We talked about being part of a story arc.
Yep.
So we get to see Iron Man in a Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
Okay. I was surprised how much he was in there. I thought, based on the trailers and just my own knowledge of how MCU movies do things, that he might come in a little bit. Yeah. But he was in there a lot. He was like a major character in the movie. Really, so it might have been a little over. It was like on the edge of being too much. But it's nice to see that and to have just to be able to see whispers of that wider world. And you talked about the opening scene and the picture that must have been Michelle drew of the Avengers. Yep. Of course, the Captain America movies. Oh god! I mean, it's fun to see him in a broader universe.
I think this guy's a criminal, but I'll show it anyways.
I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal, but the state wears it.
I did catch that too. I love the
great bureaucracy there too.
They have one for PE. They got one for detention. How many more do they have?
It's ridiculous. I can't imagine any school doing that many. But it was funny.
So you're in detention.
Does the Riker maneuver in the chair?
Yeah, that's right.
How many people will get that reference? Okay.
Well, at least one,
Oh, so another thing that's different about this one is the amount of diversity. And I always just bring this up when I do revival talk, is that this movie was just very intentional with this level of diversity. They changed many characters from being white to people of color, which was fantastic. Yeah. We had Peter Parker's best friend. He was Asian guy, but I thought more importantly he was like a bigger bodied guy. Yep. Which is for me, who's a big bodied guy, it's nice to see people that are positive, not just he's funny, funny fat guy. He was like a positive guy. He was his friend, totally. Peter never once made fun of his weight or anything. Like
he was the guy in the chair.
Yeah, I got more to talk about that too. But having Flash be South Asian, and
that was a huge thing.
Was it?
Do you remember when it was coming out? People were
furious. I remember people being upset about his love interest being black more than anything than Flash being South Asian. But that was great. Both Michelle and then I'm getting names mixed up. I was saying Michelle earlier for the I meant to say Liz. I was calling Tomb's daughter Michelle, wasn't I, before? Yeah. My bad. Okay. Sorry, that confused anyone. Liz drew the picture of the Avengers for Tomb's. Okay, that's what I meant to say. And Liz was giving hints about who he was, not Michelle. I'm sorry. So both Liz and Michelle, who turned to be MJ at the end, I found out, were black women. That was great. Yep.
I just remember I believe it was Reddit was going nuts about Flash because he's always been the jock, the blonde hair, not blonde hair, but I think he had red hair in the beginning.
I don't know,
something like that. But he was always white. He was always rich. He was,
Well, all the characters are always white because back in the 50s when they made comic books, used to draw people of color very often. So I mean, it's got to update.
But seeing him,
he still was the jock as far as for being a science school, a nerd school, basically.
Right, exactly.
For being what it was, he still was like the jock figure. He was that part when he was the DJ.
DJ Flash.
I love that sound effect when they do it right. It was so funny. I just not in the red shirt.
Oh my god! I didn't really like. This I felt like the bullying was very accurate.
Sure.
Penis Parker.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times if someone would say that. I've heard 100 times. So someone always finds a way to put penis into something. It's just the way we do things.
Well, that's like a low hanging fruit there because Peter's already a slang.
Of course. Yeah, it's very close, anyways. But even if your name isn't even close, they'll find a way.
Yeah. I found that really realistic and really relatable. That's one thing I liked about the original Spider-Man trilogy. In the first movie in particular, was that Peter really was nerdy. He really was bullied realistically. Oh, yeah. As someone who was bullied in school was really relatable for me. Yeah. And I felt like the Amazing Spider-Man in that movie, the Peter Parker was too cool. He was already kind of cool. I was like, I don't really relate to you at all. So you got the costume here, which is even more cool. I want to see that.
You can't relate to it.
Yeah, I want to see a total transformation. I want to be able to believe that I could put the suit on and be Spider-Man.
Exactly.
That's kind of the fantasy, I think, for almost everyone. So before we go any further, do you want to do our new segment?
Sure.
We have a new segment we're really excited about. We're going to try to do from now on called Ratings then and now.
Now, okay.
Where we look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores for the original and reboots.
Okay. So, beginning with Spider-Man in 2002, Rotten Tomatoes gave him a certified fresh of 89%. But the viewers did not like it so much and gave it a 67. So
I wonder how many of that is people scoring it later. Like, are those
That's
all
possible.
scores that were from 2002 and 3 or 4, maybe?
Yeah.
Or are those scores people did 2016 going, watching it again and going, I don't like this movie because it's different.
Probably. Because there's not a limit on when you can comment. So.
Like, movies age, so you can't hold it to modern standards.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, those are good movies. The original, especially the first two, are good ones.
Oh, yeah. When they came out, it was like, wow, this is so cool.
It's fantastic. Even when I watched them again a few years later, it came in 02. I remember watching them again in college, would have been 07, 08, and being like, these are still really good.
Yeah.
The first two are really good still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Spider-Man 2, which got a rating of 98%, certified fresh, which is a pretty large
Really
step
high.
up. Really high. To 81% viewer. So, obviously, I liked it better, which I love the character, the villain of Doc Ock. I think he's one of my favorites. And the way they did it, where it was like, it was a huge science thing. They're trying to create fusion energy in a reactor, and I thought that was a really cool backstory to that.
It was interesting.
And I would love to see a reboot of Doc Ock. I think he's a cool character. I love villains that they don't have superpowers, much like the Vulture. They built everything, and they're fighting, but they don't have any way of actually defeating Spider-Man other than brute force. Right. They don't have special powers, or the Green Goblin had super strength basically.
Yeah.
I just love that aspect of it. Much Batman. A lot of the characters of Batman are like that too. Spider-Man 3, however, if we move on, got a certified fresh, or excuse me, wasn't certified fresh. He got a 63% rating and a 51% rating from its viewers.
Yep.
Which makes sense. Spider-Man 3 wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, it had its moments, but definitely they lost the thread of what was making the first two good.
Yeah. And I also think the villains...
too many cooks?
Yeah, too many cooks, exactly. Casting was kind of okay, so Sandman...
Shoehorning Sandman in as the killer of...
Yes.
Try to make it emotional when it really wasn't.
I can't... Oh, my God. It's again, going back to Batman and how many times we've seen the backstory of that. And how many times did they change it? First it was the Joker, then it was somebody else, and it's just like, okay, just stop. It could have been anybody. Keep it that way. So yeah, Sandman. I didn't like the casting of Venom, which was what's his name from that '70s show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just it was bad casting. That's I guess why I'm ready for the reboot of Venom. The Amazing Spider-Man, however, got a certified fresh of 73% and a viewer rating of 77%, which was a little promising.
Surprisingly high.
Surprisingly high, yes. I think people were just ready for something fresh. And to be honest, that the Tobey Maguire was okay, but people liked that Andrew Garfield was younger than Tobey Maguire, so they were feeling like, okay, they're going back to their roots. Mm-hmm. And it was, again, they got rid of the biological webs and went with the web shooters.
Right.
And again, there's a lot of things going back to its roots, so people loved it. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, however, got an 85% viewer rating.
85 for viewers?
85 reviewers. The Rotten Tomatoes wasn't available, but...
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was so bad. That was one of the few movies where I was like seriously considering leaving the theater because I just did not want to waste my time anymore.
Really? Okay.
Oh my gosh, that like, I'm gonna get that Spider-Man. I was like, oh my god,
yeah,
what
it
is
was
going
pretty
on?
bad. Yeah.
Like the biggest motivation was like what? Because he didn't say hi to him. Wasn't it so stupid like that? Like,
yeah.
I didn't rewatch it obviously because I didn't want to. So I'm operating off some limited knowledge on that one.
It was plus his first love interest died in that one, right?
That's right.
And I was kind of like, I don't like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make it more sad and people to like cry over it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the villain was. It wasn't the casting because Jamie Foxx is an excellent actor. I loved him in the Tarantino, Django Unchained.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor.
He wasn't good in that role.
But that I see it was written.
It was a cartoon.
Horribly, yeah, exactly.
But like without the funness of it.
Exactly.
I don't know how to say it.
It was very well. It was very. I guess cartoonish is the good. But it was.
That's the best way I can think.
Yeah, I guess that is the best way.
I want to get it. Like,
yeah. playing on the whole, if you don't say hi to everyone or nice to everyone, they're going to commit suicide or try to kill you, or that's exactly what I thought. Like, and then after that, I was like, oh man, I better say hi to everyone. Like just be nice, just say hey, how's it going, and not only that, but is that how he became that in the comic? Like he fell into a thing of experimental eel. I don't remember that. So, and then on to Homecoming, which got a certified fresh rating of 92%,
nice.
A whopping 92%, and an audience rating of 88%. So we kind of see a little trend there for some reason. I don't know whether it's the critics just absolutely love shows like that, or if the audience is a little more, likes to critique a little more.
Cynical.
A little more cynical, yeah. Because you would think of all of them, this would be the one they would love.
Yeah, it was a real crowd pleaser in a movie.
Right. Which 88% is not small potatoes or tomatoes. So, but it's just strange that it would reverse like that and the audience would not like it so much. But
yeah,
I don't know. Different everywhere, I guess.
And like we mentioned before, there's a lot of people that just push back for silly things like Flash and MJ being not white. So they go on and they lower the rating. Now that happened with the recent Star Wars movies. There's more diverse. There's women leads. Yeah. So there's Facebook groups full of people that go on there just do this kind of stuff.
I mean, I have an argument about that, but yes, I understand what you're saying. It's not the fact that they're women that I'm arguing with, if that's what. But anyways, we'll get to that later.
Okay. I'm just saying that there are Facebook groups out there that organize around, intentionally lowering ratings of movies, right? Because they say there's SJW outlets because they make more diversity or promote women or whatever. Same thing happened with the new Ghostbusters movie. It was female cast. People lost their minds about it. Yeah. Why? It was good for what it was, and who cares if it's women or men? It just having more women is good for representation reasons, but at the end of the day, if it's a good movie or a bad movie, that's what you should be rating it on, not
right. It's not about
getting backlash because it's getting all stirred up because it's not men or white men or whatever.
I actually watched again. I actually watched Ghostbusters, the new one, twice, and it wasn't so much that it was women. I didn't have a problem with that. I actually thought it was okay. It was the fact that the jokes were so dirty or so off topic.
Love dirty jokes.
I know, but I do. But for a Ghostbusters movie, I feel like it wasn't in its element, I guess. I don't know. But I was okay with the movie. I enjoyed it. Obviously not as much as some, but so yeah, the Flash thing was a big controversy. That's the one I remember the most because I just remember reading a bunch of things like, oh my god, he's Indian, or was he? I don't know his nationality.
He looks South Asian, I don't know, Indian, Pakistani or something.
But see, I saw him first in Grand Budapest Hotel, which I loved, and so for me it was like, what does it matter? He's a good actor. He seemed like a great guy. So yeah,
I think people are really going to get upset when they realize that the new Miles. What's the new Spider-Man? Miles Morales. He's a biracial,
that's right,
Black Hispanic kid who becomes Spider-Man in the comic books, a version of him anyway. Yeah. And they teased at it because his uncle was in the movie, and he mentioned, "Oh, my nephew's in this neighborhood." So if you know the source material, you know that I think his name was Aaron Davis was the petty bad guy that Spider-Man interrogated. He was a decent guy. He said, "I'm with these weapons in the neighborhood. I got a nephew here," and it's like, "Oh, his nephew." That's Miles Morales. That's the new Spider-Man. That's right. So I think we'll be seeing him again down the road. Obviously, the MCU has become a behemoth. It's gone 10 years now. Oh, yeah. It'll be around another 10 years, and it'll be time for a new Spider-Man about that time.
Of course.
People are going to really get upset about that.
Oh, yeah, and that's the one they're hinting towards. It's universes or Spider-Man. I can't remember. That's what it's called. Something like that. Spider-Man universes or Spider-Man. It's an animated show they're doing. Where they're doing it like every conceivable different Spider-Man or something like that, and they start out with a Spider-Man of he's a minority basically. He's black, or I think that might be the same.
It's probably Miles.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing.
He's the big one.
Yeah, and when I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." But obviously, people are going to be very negative. So, but it's interesting to see that because there's also a Spider-Man universe that exists where he's an actual spider. So
yeah, it's weird when you get into the both DC and Marvel have their different universe things that get really confusing. I try not to worry too much about that.
Yeah, that's true. So let's talk about Aunt May for a minute.
Okay.
Did you like this Aunt May?
She was fine.
Was she over-sexualized? do you feel?
Well, a little bit by Tony and stuff. It was a little thick.
Yeah. Preferably in a perfect universe, I'd want to plant the one from the first Spider-Man into this one. I mean, I understand why they did it.
I mean, there's pros and cons.
There's pros and cons, yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, what was good was she was never dressed provocatively. She never did anything. She was always kind of just like this nerdy aunt, right. And she was portrayed pretty neutrally on her own. It was really just there was that guy at the restaurant who kind of hit on her. It was mostly just Tony's comments that were over the top. But I don't know. I guess I come to a point where I'm just like, I'm done fighting with Tony being a sexist. That's true, in these movies and bringing up every single time.
It's beautiful.
I don't like it, but yeah, I don't know. I as a character, I think she was good. She was a good May. I thought all three were fine. All three of the Mays were fine. Yeah. I didn't have a problem with any of them. Different versions. What the I guess I don't have a strong opinion, especially in this most recent one. May wasn't that central to the plot. She was kind of just there. Yeah. So I don't care that much.
She fed him basically. That was about it.
Bought him backpacks.
Bought him backpacks. That's like the fifth one. Okay. Yeah, I guess it hit me hard because I'm so used to the older Mays, and you don't feel anything towards it, but then you see her, and I'm like, okay. So I guess staying on that, are we less threatened by a geeky female love interest than we would be with, say, the first one?
What do you mean threatened?
I mean, is that why they made her a little more... it takes place at a science school or high school or whatever, but it just feels like the first MJ was very jockey. Wasn't she a cheerleader or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, she was heavy in drama, obviously, but it was always the girl you couldn't get, but she was the girl next door, you know? But this one, it's... Literally. She's interested in him, and she's doing the academic decathlon. She was in other things. She was the...
You're talking about MJ, right?
The new MJ, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're talking about Liz.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. So,
because Peter was interested in Liz. Liz didn't seem to care much about Peter.
Right.
And Michelle/MJ was disinterested in everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's what and it was funny too.
Yeah, I thought her character was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I thought it was. I don't care.
It was again on the edge of being too much.
Yeah.
I think the movie thrives in that being on the edge. She was like on the edge of being like too cynical and too and too just cheesy. Like I'm seeing detention to sketch people. Like, but it was funny though. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was pretty good. Like, who goes to detention just to sketch people? Okay.
That's the point.
Anyway, yeah, I know exactly. I thought it was good, but I just feel like, was that their intention to make her more, maybe to hide her? So people didn't immediately think, oh my God, that's MJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, plus she didn't have red hair and all this stuff.
Right.
I think people didn't assume that.
Right.
Which I thought was also how they hid the fact that Toombs was Liz's dad so well. It was such a shock to everyone when he opened the door. And, I mean, just real talk, no one thought so because she was black and he was white. Yeah. And, I mean, if you think about it realistically, she light-skinned, she could have a white parent, but no one, I wasn't sitting there thinking, I wonder if that's her dad.
You wouldn't connect them at all. Even all the characters, even all the bad guys, he wasn't like, oh my God, that's her or that's her dad or something. You just didn't think about it.
That was a great reveal. He opened that door and he was her dad. It was like, oh my gosh.
Because I was like, what? I remember in theater thinking, what's going on? Like I had to wait because it's something we don't see. Although it happens a lot, we just don't see it in movies. Yeah,
and having that personal connection. The villain having a personal connection to Peter Parker is also really central to Spider-Man. I mean, you've seen it, and as far as I know, every villain's had something,
right?
Which is pretty true to the comic books. So. Yeah. All right, let's go on to another new segment: the airing of grievances.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right, so here's my grievance with this movie.
Okay.
I had to think about it because I liked this movie a lot.
Yeah, it was tough.
But one was clear, and I thought as soon as I left during the movie, when I was watching the first time, I thought, wow, this is unfortunate, was the excessive use of the words crazy and insane over and over and over again. And in the last few years, I've really come to recognize it's ableist language. It's words that have traditionally been used to stigmatize people with mental health issues, and it's been a really big push nowadays to put it in the same category as like retarded or like other words that are lame is another one. It's used to stigmatize people with disabilities. So most people in the progressive movement don't use those words anymore,
right?
Which I'm in. So it was really, every time I heard it, I was like, oh. So I tallied, it was 8 or 9 times that they
Really?
said, yeah. Well, it's once you learn to recognize words like that, you go, wow, I've seen a lot. Like, it was constantly, oh, it's crazy, oh, it's insane, like, the whole time. And I get, like, you know, kids in high school probably say it a lot. Okay, it's realistic, but it's also a movie, and you want to be a good role model.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest grievance in the movie I wanted to air, was that, like, please, the next Spider-Man movie, don't have him say, use ableist language constantly. Thank you. All right, what's your grievance?
My biggest thing was every single Spider-Man, like I said, I think I alluded to this in the beginning, every single Spider-Man movie, he's got to jump onto the top of a building in front of an American flag. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's stipulated in the contract that he actually has to stand. I mean, because the first one, it was, okay, it was after 9/11. We were all patriotic. I understood why they did it. But then every one after that, at some point in the movie, he stands behind or in front of a flag on a building. And it's just like,
Yeah, get that one shot for the trailer.
We get it. He's in America. He's in New York. He's an American. Everybody get that through your head. He's legal. So I hate that so much. I don't know. Is it pandering? I don't know. It just throws me out of everything. Like, now I'm supposed to sit there and think, man, it's patriotic. Spider-Man's fighting for America.
Yeah.
You know.
He's got the same colors and everything too. He's got that red and blue. So I think it just looks good.
Right.
It looks good in a trailer.
Right.
You know, a little bit pandering.
I can totally see that for Captain America.
Well, yeah.
But he's a criminal now.
It's in his name.
Does that even work? I mean, you know.
I don't know.
I just, I hate that so much.
All right. That has been the Airy Grievances for Spider-Man.
I got a lot of problems with you people. And you're going to hear about it.
Oh, gosh.
I yelled too much. That's pretty high.
I got a few questions for you here. A few things I want to hear your take on.
Okay.
The Stark-enabled suit.
Training wheels program?
Well, the whole thing, once it was off,
Yeah.
and you realized it wasn't just a suit with, that looked good. It was like basically an Iron Man suit that looked like a Spider-Man. Like, what'd you think about that?
I actually liked it. I know he originally didn't have any of that stuff. The other side is, we never really saw his Spidey sense either, right?
It's been talked about a lot because it never made it evident in the movie, but the creators said no, he has them.
He has them, but it's like now,
and now that we've seen the trailers for Infinity Wars, we see him having them.
Right, we see his hair stand up.
Yeah, so he has them.
He has them.
In the movie, they never showed it.
It seems like in this movie they were the AI became his Spidey sense almost. Not necessarily warning him about things, but it definitely gave him a better sensory abilities.
Well, even before he had that, there was a couple of scenes when he was fighting. I think in that ATM fight scene, someone like threw a punch from behind. He's like ducked deftly, dodged it.
Yeah.
But also, the Vulture came in and swooped from behind and picked him up once or twice without him knowing. He should have sensed that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll explain in Infinity Wars that he developed it over time. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah. I guess that's just what stood out to me.
Sure. Yeah, I thought the Stark suit was actually a pretty cool addition. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's not Spider-Man with technology," even though like the web sling has always been technology, basically at the end of the day. So it's just more, and like to be in this MCU universe. Sorry, it's redundant. To be in this Marvel Cinematic Universe where Tony Stark has this stuff and he can do all this stuff, it almost seems silly to not have it. Yeah. In fact, my biggest problem with it was it almost seems really it's not just an Iron Man costume. Like why have him sling webs when he can just fly?
Exactly.
Why wasn't Captain America in an Iron Man costume? Why weren't any of the rest of the Avengers just in Iron Man costumes at this point? Like, why not? Like, he apparently can make infinite numbers of them. He has limited resources to make near infinite numbers of Iron Man costumes with all these abilities, all these powers. Why don't all the Avengers have Iron Man costumes?
Which might play a role in the battle against Thanos, because he can make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of automated Iron Man. Basically, he doesn't have to control it. Iron Man, like he did it. I think it was Iron Man 3, which wasn't well received, but there were hundreds of them flying around.
Yeah, and he went to disable them.
Right.
But then they're back now.
Right, exactly. Because I thought he destroyed them. That 3 was weird.
But we've seen more since then.
Exactly.
I mean, do you expect us to believe he sent his one and only suit to go save Parker while he was over in wherever he was, where he opening his Wi-Fi? Like, that was his one suit? I doubt it.
No, I doubt it.
And we know there's a Hulkbuster suit still out there because we saw it in the trailer for Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has more than one suit.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee it.
And he's able to make that Spider-Man suit, and he's able to make another new Spider-Man suit even cooler.
Yeah.
It looks blacker, so it must be cool because there's more black in it. So...
Which was a test.
Oh, okay. So apparently he can make whatever he wants. His unlimited resources. Again, why aren't they all wearing? I
always assumed, because I did think of that too, but I always assumed it was a proprietary thing. Like he's very paranoid about other people getting the technology, because that's what he did his entire. I mean, it's his money. Is he sold weapons?
Sure.
And he's so against that now. He'll enhance things, but the Iron Man suit being such a destructive weapon, I feel like he's very concerned about just giving out things like that.
Well, I know, but like the Cap, you know what I mean?
Well,
Although he turned bad.
Now, yeah, you never know. That's.
I mean, War Machine has one, so like I don't know.
But it's his best friend, but or quote unquote best friend.
Yeah, I thought I was your friend.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
That was a great scene. Yeah, I can't talk about Civil War without getting excited about it.
Yeah,
so good.
It was very good. It was. What was the question?
What do you think about the Stark technology?
Oh, that's right.
AI,
yeah.
Aaron AI being part of his.
Yeah. So back on the Spidey suit, I liked it. I didn't really like activating kill mode.
Mm-hmm. Instant kill mode.
It's kind of like Batman versus Superman, where all of a sudden Batman's killing people, which he really never did. A couple times there were comic books obviously where he did that, but. Barely. Yeah, it was very rare. It was just weird to see, and it was a plot point just to defeat the enemy. Really.
Oh yeah.
It was necessary.
Yeah, with Spider-Man, it was more of a joke than anything.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
but I can see why he'd be in there because he wasn't supposed to have it yet. Right. It was supposed to be when he was ready. I can see if they're fighting like a Thanos or like a army of automatons, then he want instant kill on. Yeah. So maybe I can see by trying to put it in there and lock it.
I'm just interested to see what that is because he has the taser web, but what's the kill mode? Like an exploding web or something? Yeah, that'd be cool. And how does he have like unlimited reloads of the web?
Well, you saw him switch it out.
We've seen him switch it out, but
mid-fight.
Like, is he going to get it mid-fight and fighting Thanos? Because obviously they don't last very long. They're very small, and he replaced them a couple times.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see how they're going to do that. Maybe the new suit has something in it that he
more
can
storage.
do. Yeah.
I do wonder what that is because we saw it was web bombs. You know what else? We saw a few different ones.
Yeah, split web and it was all sorts of things.
You told me to choose.
What was that?
What was I going to say? Oh, so my question on that was, so Peter developed the web fluid himself. You saw him doing it.
Yeah.
So how was Tony finding ways to use it that he didn't even know about? And if it was already in his suit, he had the suit in Civil War. He had it with him already. Mm-hmm. So he used the web in Civil War. But then you saw him working on the web fluid formula in class.
Yeah.
That doesn't line up with me because he already had the web fluid done. He was already perfected as far as I can tell.
That's true.
Perfected enough that Tony could add tasers to it and make it into bombs, make it into everything else. I don't know how Tony was getting all that stuff perfected in his AI while he was still working on the fluid in his class and the beaker. Yeah. It didn't make any sense to me.
That's true, yeah. I guess a lot of it stems from the fact that we didn't actually see what that journey was developing the web slingers.
Oh, yeah. It was fun to see it from a cinematic point of view.
Yeah.
Seeing him make it in class was great. Oh, yeah, he's smart, and he did it himself.
Yeah.
It's not a superpower. He actually invented it. But then it's like, how does that mix with his Stark suit?
Sure.
I don't understand how that works at all.
I mean, obviously you could say I
think it's a whole.
The suit was updated, or there was a firmware update, while he was using it, and they added things.
Yeah, I guess. Who knows?
I mean, anything's possible in that. But that also might be a contractual obligation with joining the Stark internship. All information has to be given to him or something. I don't know. But yeah, I can see where it's like, wow, where did that come from?
No, but I'm saying if he was using it in Civil War and he was already had it down, why was he still working on it?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange.
Maybe he was making more. Maybe he had to pull out his formula to check how to make it.
Maybe
he was actually. It looked like he was perfecting it, but maybe he was actually just making more.
Probably.
It could be it, I guess.
Because he kept stashes of it under the lockers.
Yeah, maybe he was just making more. Maybe that's what it was.
Probably.
See, it's kind of funny. I think that he has to go to school and make more in class. He can't just do it at home, which is realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic.
He's in a New York apartment with his aunt stooping around. It makes sense. It's realistic, but it's kind of funny to think about it. Again, it's relatable. He has a stash under his locker at school.
Right.
it's so weird to think that I had time in my life where I spent enough time in a building that I would store stuff there.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's like, why would you store it at school? Like he was there all day.
Right. That's exactly. Yeah, it's weird to remember our high school days. Yes.
So another question for you is, what'd you think about like the stakes of the movie and the villains? So what I mean is, like, most MCU movies, most superhero movies, the bad guy wants to take over the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, whether it's a lizard wanting to turn everyone else into lizards, or it's, Loki wanting to, destroy the planet, whatever it is. Yeah. Like, it was a guy just selling weapons.
Right.
Like, if he didn't defeat him, the world would have just been just fine.
Right.
Like, there might have been more weapons in Queens or whatever.
Yep.
There might have been more stuff going on, but like, it really wasn't that big of a deal. They were selling weapons. There were weapons sold all over the place.
Right.
So like, the stakes weren't that high, but he went all in. He did it anyway, and he felt for it. It felt enough.
Yep.
While still being like local enough.
That's true. I feel this villain was completely different. The stakes were he was providing for his family. Like, that was his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
That was it.
Stakes for the bad guy were good too. Right. Yeah, so like for him it was like.
But he even makes a speech in the end.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, they don't care about us.
Uh-huh.
We dig their ditches.
Uh-huh.
And
they fight their wars.
And they sit in their towers.
Powerful.
I mean, it's perfect. They're rich and we're not, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the lower stakes. I like the kind of local neighborhood Spider-Man feel of it. I saw a funny review on YouTube that related to the Next Generation movie problem, Star Trek Next Generation movie problem, which is, well, as soon as he said it, he was like, sorry, I'm operating on 6 different levels of nerd right now. And I was like, I think I know where it's going to go. And I was right, too, because in the Next Generation TV show, they had a lot of little stuff. That was like, some days they fought the Borg, he said. But right. a lot of weeks, it was just little stuff, something going around the holodeck or whatever. Yeah. So when the movies came out, they had to be all big stuff, and it was hard for fans to relate because it was just everything was world-ending. Right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the Spider-Man Homecoming was really good at making that back. It felt like it felt low. It felt like just relatable in a way, and not this whole big world thing.
Right.
I didn't spin it very well, but whatever.
No, but it makes sense. I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to see like where he lived before all this happened, because obviously when we see him, he's in this mansion, and it seems like he's always had that money. He's got a Jaguar. He's driving around a Jaguar.
One guy, the first shocker, he said, "You wait for no regal that money." So it seems to me that probably was new. Probably was a new thing for them. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, he's obviously new money. No, but where did he live before that? That's what I want to see. Like, was it a hovel? Was it, because that's the whole premise of the story is he's providing for his family. Nothing else matters. But in the end, he's still a man of honor. He still doesn't rat out who Spider-Man actually is.
That was powerful.
And I thought that was very good.
Yeah, when Scorpion asked him about that, and he was like, "No, if I knew, he'd be dead already."
Right.
It was like his weird. I mean, he saved his life, granted. Yeah. But yeah, he had this weird bond and connection. It was...
Yeah. I want to talk about some sneak peeks that we got in the story. Some Easter eggs, if you will. Okay. When Happy was finishing loading the plane, and he was going over the manifest, and he said, "Oh, we got Hulk's armor." I thought that was kind of cool.
The Hulkbuster.
Yeah, was his? Yeah, I don't know if it's Hulkbuster. He said Hulk's armor.
Oh,
so I don't know if Hulk actually has armor now or not. Does he need it? Cap's new shield, which we got a little taste of in the trailer. I think with recently. That the fan thing that opens, which was kind of cool.
It's funny because I saw in the trailer. I assumed it was Wakandan when I saw it. I thought it was something the Wakandans gave him.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It could be made from there. I'm not sure. He keeps weird things in there. And then of course Thor's magic belt.
Yeah.
Which is Meganjord. Is that how you say it?
I had to check the word because he said Medja or whatever, and I was like, well, what's that word again? Midget. But I never knew how to pronounce it, so I don't know. I
had to look it up a little bit. Meganjord gives him increased strength, which I thought that was cool. The thing I don't get this either, but if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, the whole point I believe of the movie was he didn't need Mjolnir. It was in him, and he just had to learn how to manifest it without the hammer. Yeah. So does he need a magic belt? Does he need his gauntlets? Yeah.
Does he need little wings on his helmet?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I mean, because he spun the hammer. That's how he flew. Yeah. So maybe he doesn't need it. I'm not sure. I thought I'd look that up. I thought it was interesting. And the gauntlets are Yarngripper. I can't say that. But.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so just do some final thoughts real quick here. I want to make sure I touch on... Oh, so another thing I thought was really relatable about the movie was the relationship between Peter and Ned.
Yeah.
It was super relatable as a nerdy high school kid once upon a time. For those who don't know, Eric and I went to high school together. So it was... I really was like... Peter and Ned, that's like me and you, me and Eric, except for both Ned.
Yeah, exactly. We're both the guy in the chair. This is gonna work.
But just like building the Death Star Lego.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, eating Doritos and like it had that feeling. It felt like a real high school like male relationship is like sitting around building Legos, eating Doritos, just hanging out. Like that's what we did, and it felt really authentic, and I really enjoyed that. It made me laugh a lot. The relationship laughed a lot. Ned made me laugh a lot. I love the guy in the chair thing. I love that meta thing. Like I always like in the kind of wink at like if they do it right.
Yep.
Where they're like, oh, superheroes always do this, and they do it. You know, it was fun.
I felt very reminiscent of True Lies. Do you remember that? Obviously,
yeah.
Where his partner, Arnold Schwarzenegger's partner, was always in the van. I'm always in the van. You know?
Yeah, the guy in the van.
Yep. But I love that. And you know, in a way, Spider-Man has all these senses and all these abilities, but he needs help. He has to ask for help.
Especially when he's 14.
Exactly.
Well, then even Toombs had a guy in the van.
Exactly.
Or a guy in the chair or whatever it was.
Exactly.
What's his name? The builder.
Yep.
Talking to him, you know, you clear. So it was, they're like the same.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. How do you turn the lights on in this Audi or whatever it was?
I've been in a situation before where you drive someone else's car at night and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to.
Yeah. See, you need a man in the chair.
I was like, I don't know where the light switch is. It's scary.
It is, yeah.
Another final thought here is, I thought it was kind of ironic with that part when he said, he treats me like I'm a kid, and Ned was like, you are a kid, and he's jumping on the bed like a kid, which is funny in itself. And he said, a kid who can stop a bus with his bare hands. And then later in the movie, he got hit by a bus. They're going to stop it.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, was that intentional? I think it probably was, but it was funny. And the last thing I wanted to point out before we move on was, I don't know, it had to have been intentional, but it had to be subtle because it's a different license. But, you know, obviously Michael Keaton was Batman.
Yep.
Back in the day, some of my favorite Batman movies. At least before the Dark Knight ones.
Very good Batman.
Yeah. There was a scene right after Spider-Man first encountered the Vulture where he opens his wings up and it's silhouetted against the moon for just an instant.
Really?
Just a frame. And you see his wings silhouetted against the yellowish moon, and it's very reminiscent of Batman.
Oh.
It's so close.
I have to go back and watch it.
Like, it's not close enough to where it'd be like, oh, they're infringing on anything.
Right.
Not at all. But if you remember the scene where he had the bat plane and went up, hit the moon, and then went right down. Yep. It was just enough like that.
Wow.
That big fans like me were like, oh, okay.
God, I can't believe I missed that.
I didn't see it in the theaters when I first saw it, but when I saw it recently, you know, I was like, oh, hey. And I had to write it down because I want to forget to say it.
You want to get nuts?
Great scene.
It is.
Michael Keaton's become one of my favorite. I didn't appreciate those movies as much when I was a kid. I didn't appreciate Michael Keaton's acting. That we want to get nuts. Let's get nuts. And then he's done some great stuff recently. The episode of Frasier was in was really good too.
Yep.
But then recently, he was in that Birdman movie. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Did you see the movie The Founder, where he was the McDonald's founder?
McDonald's. Yeah, I did see that.
Such a good movie. He was so good in it.
Yeah.
And then he was I said this already, but so scary as Toombs. So good.
Believable.
Such a good actor.
It's all believable. That's the scariest part about it.
Yeah.
Where are all my comic books?
Well, we can't end without doing a quick Twitter check. Twitter check. Like, how we do it last time? I'm trying to
I don't know.
Let's see if I anything good.
I feel like we should do like a Sega theme. Twitter check.
Let's see. At Marvelous Realm says 2018, the year of Spider-Man.
Wow.
And it says hashtag Infinity War. Hashtag Spider-Man PS4. It must be a game come out on PS4.
Okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's the one. Spider-Verse, yep.
Yeah, so that's the Venom that's in, right?
No, Venom's a different movie. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is an animated show.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh, okay, now I understand. And they have a little GIF for each one here.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I assume it's just looking at all the different universes, I believe it's universes, of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Let's give me some more good ones in here. I'm seeing a funny thing in here where whenever you do hashtag Spider-Man, you get a little Spider-Man emoji type thing after it. Kind of like X-Files had that X after it when you do the hashtag, they have that. That's cool. Oh, actually, I'm seeing some more now for Black Panther too. Apparently, all the major MCU characters have a hashtag and a little space after it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Some people are listing them all out. And apparently, when you do hashtag Captain America, you get the new Captain with a beard and no mask. Oh. So that's kind of, it's almost disappointing. I can see why they did it because they had to promote the movie.
Right. Promoting it, yeah.
But it's kind of disappointing, actually.
Yeah. Do they have a Thanos one?
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Probably.
You can run from it. I love that speech.
Do it.
I have to look it up. I don't know the whole thing.
At Quacks on Queen says, must protect Peter Parker at all costs. He is soft and innocent.
Oh, God.
And this gif of him, like, peeking out behind, like, I think it's Doctor Strange's shoulder. He's kind of like, look at all, like, scared and innocent.
Soft and innocent. That's not descriptors I've ever heard associated with Spider-Man.
And this one says, Peter Parker is the dancing baby Groot of Earth-based Avengers. It has the same little scene of him peeking out, and there's a parallel scene of Groot peeking out over Star-Lord's shoulder. That's at Awesome Emergency. I'm trying to see if bad guys are on here too for the little emoji things. I'm seeing a Loki.
Loki. Yeah.
I guess I could search for Thanos and just look that way. I'm really excited to see how they get all those Infinity Stones together and the Gauntlet and see kind of how those all interact.
My fear is it's one of those movies where they take the entire length of the first movie to get the first three, and then the next movie is going to be, I'm going to finish it up, you know. I hate that.
I think I see what you mean. So like they spend a long time getting 2 or 3 and then a very short time getting the other like 6.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Exactly.
I felt that way in Harry Potter as they went there with Deathly Hallows. Mm-hmm. It was like, well, we got 2, and now let's get the other, however many, I can't remember, I'm going to lose my Harry Potter card.
Oh. There was only 3.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
The Elder Wand, the Stone.
No.
What are you talking about?
Okay, I said Deathly Hallows. You're right. I did say Deathly Hallows.
You mean the Horcruxes.
I meant to say Horcruxes.
I gotcha. Yeah. That's right. That's true, because there were a lot of Horcruxes, and it... Like, they did 1, 2 of them, 3 of them. That was it. Main ones. The last one's a locket. Only could be...
So there were 6 Horcruxes. Too bad I forgot that. I can remember. I thought it was 7, though.
And we saw 3, 4.
Yeah, because they got them... Initially, they only had a few, and all of a sudden they went to find them, and they really quickly got, like, a lot more in the last...
And they're supposed to be... You cannot destroy them. Like, they were very, very powerful.
Well, you had to use the right thing. So it had to be...
Sort of Gryffindor was one.
Only because it had Basilisk. I'm trying to think of the name of it. So, the reason why Gryffindor could destroy it was because it had Basilisk venom in it. Because it was Gobble-made, and Gobble-made items, weapons, can absorb the best elements of other things. Okay. So since it had killed a Basilisk in part 2, it absorbed Basilisk venom. So that's why it was able to destroy it. That's the only reason it could. And so his book was one. He used a Basilisk fang to get that one. I think every other time... I think the sword was used every other time. I can't remember them all. But like you said, Nagini was a Horcrux. And
Harry himself wasn't he a Horcrux?
Well, yeah, I think so.
That's why he has a scar or whatever.
But like Neville used the sword to kill Nagini.
Yeah.
So that was...
Oh, that's right, yeah. That's the only reason. Because it was there when he needed it. That's what it was, right?
Because he's a true Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Good old Neville. I saw a picture recently that was, it showed... You know what I'm talking about? All right.
No, I don't.
We don't need to say it. No.
I don't, no.
Oh, damn you.
No, I do.
So, I'll just say it. There was a picture recently that was going around. It had the actors who played Neville, Ron, Harry, and Draco, and it was like that moment when Neville's the hottest.
Yeah.
And the rest of them just looked hit, and Neville looked just like fit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so funny.
He was definitely tired of being made fun of. I can say that.
I laughed way too hard in that picture. I don't know why.
It was good. I always liked Neville.
I always liked him too. In the books, I always loved him, and he definitely came to his own through it. Yeah. And the movies, like by the last couple movies, he was looking really good anyway. It wasn't like he was unattractive in the movies either. But in the books, he was always kind of pudgy and made fun of. So it was just funny to see the cast photo, or it was the cast photo, but the reunion photo, whatever it was, all together for some reason. And the rest just looked tired and hit, and he just looked great.
I'm ready for this. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
How did we get in Harry Potter?
We're
sitting there explaining the Horcruxes. We're not even close.
I actually said Hollows. I feel bad about that. Do Fantastic Beasts count as a revival? Can we do those?
I think so. I would say.
I am so excited about the next Fantastic Beasts movie because the first one was so good.
Are we really doing this? It was good. I was.
Save it.
I know. I was just disappointed at the bad guy. I wanted him to do more. Like they led up to a lot, but
Which bad guy? Grindelwald?
Grindelwald, yeah.
Well, that's the next movie, though.
Well, I know.
It's a five-parter.
I know, but it just seemed like he got captured so easily.
I want to be really clear. His name is Grindelwald and not Grindelwald. I don't care.
The German.
The fact that some people in the movie actually pronounced it on screen Grindelwald.
Oh, did they?
It was like nails on a chalkboard. I was like, no, it is Grindelwald. And I don't care what anyone says. Unless J.K. Rowling herself tells me otherwise, I will be saying Grindelwald. But the thing is, they said it both ways in the movie, which really struck me. Yeah.
I have to watch it again. I just assumed it was Grindelwald because that's probably what I heard from them saying it, you know.
As I read it first, obviously I read the book before I saw the movie.
Yeah.
And the Deathly Hallows book, and maybe it was before that. I always assumed it was Grindelwald because he was from that part of Europe.
Right.
And so in the movie, when they said Grindelwald, I was like, "What the, Aunt May?"
Yeah.
So,
we don't pronounce many W's like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Old.
Anyway.
Yeah. We're Spider-Man. Okay. Yeah. So predictions.
Okay.
We can do guys. Infinity War predictions.
No, yeah, let's do Infinity War predictions. Okay. And there's a Homecoming sequel too, or whatever. I probably won't call it Homecoming, but there's a new Spider-Man sequel.
Homecominger.
I hope it's not called Homecoming 2. Well, I know it's not Homecoming.
Yeah.
I hope it's not called Homecoming 2. I hope it's called like Spider-Man, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, prom.
Junior prom. That's what it would be. Junior prom.
Snow coming.
Yeah. All good.
Okay, so you heard it here first, folks. If the next movie is called Spider-Man Prom, we predicted it. Yeah. Simultaneously without talking about it first. Anyway, I'm thinking of like Star Trek Into Darkness, Star Trek Beyond. These kids didn't give them numbers; they named it something different, which is good.
Like we have to edit out that snort. I think I snorted. Okay. So predictions.
So he's obviously going to be the innocent little baby Groot of the group. Yeah. I mean, he's 15 in the movie, so maybe he'll be 16 by Infinity War. He's still
maybe
still a kid. He's still so young. I thought he'd be saving the whole universe.
Right.
So I'm worried about him a little bit.
I'm too because
I feel like I'm kind of like Aunt May. I'm worried about him.
Oh, of course. Well, because the first scene we see in the trailer is him jumping on whatever device that is that Thanos has. It's like, oh god, is he the first one there? Most likely.
Because it came to New York, because the rest of them are upstate now. Yeah,
right.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for it.
Of course, they text New York because they always text New York.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. How many American flags do you think we'll see?
At least 2.
At least 2. Okay. Yeah.
Prediction.
I don't want to. Okay. This is the thing with Infinity War. People died. There were characters that died. I know. And I don't want to say Spider-Man died because that's going to break my heart.
He already has in the movie planned. He's not going to die.
I know.
He's too new. If anyone's going to die, it's going to be someone whose contract is up.
Right.
Like Thor. Iron Man, Captain America. The old ones. The ones that had their 3 movies. Yeah. They had the 3 independents and they had their 3... That's what the contract was. It was 6 movies.
Yeah.
It was 3 independents and 3 Avenger movies.
Yeah.
That's their contract.
Yeah.
They're all done now. I mean, they can renew them, but like... There's no reason they couldn't kill Captain, Thor, or Iron Man. It'd be hard to see MCU go on without Iron Man. Honestly,
it would.
He was the very first one, obviously, but more importantly, he's been in more of them.
Yeah.
You know, he was in the Hulk movie. He was in briefly, but he was in Captain America: Civil War, obviously a lot. He was in Spider-Man quite a bit. Like he's the face of the MCU.
Which Robert Downey Jr. has already expressed his interest in not doing it anymore.
Okay.
Which has people afraid. But there's nobody I can think of to do Tony Stark the way he does Tony. I mean, he is Tony Stark.
Well, no. If they recast Tony Stark, that'd be a travesty.
Yeah.
But there are other Iron Men out there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
To carry down, yeah.
Yeah, so someone else can get in the suit.
Right.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
just like Miles Morales being Spider-Man. Like I'm not worried about someone else taking over because that happened in the comic books all the time. They better not recast anyone.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, the War Machine recast was bad enough.
Yes, it was.
And the Hulk recast broke my heart. But
True.
It
seems to work out though.
I like the new War Machine better,
Yeah.
but I'd take recasting.
Right.
I'm still mad about the new Hulk recast.
The Hulk was a punch to the gut.
Ugh.
Edward Norton's so good.
He's so good.
He was.
I just want to be his friend.
I know. He seems like the guy who can be his friend. But no, I never immediately went. Obviously, one of the main characters probably has to die.
Someone better die. Okay, so our prediction for this: one of those three, at least one has to die in this movie.
I keep thinking Black Widow though.
That'd be sad.
I mean, she's human. The only thing she can do is karate, or some.
She's a really good spy.
She's a very good spy, yeah. But I feel like that's what would send the Hulk over the edge.
Huh.
If he actually thinks of her that way while he's the Hulk, I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of.
Remember, sun's getting low.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Can I talk about that real quick?
Sure, yeah.
Can I go on a tangent? I need a minute.
Okay.
So
I need a minute. Okay.
Have you watched the new Bill Nye?
Yes.
His role.
Yeah.
Bill needs a minute. That's kind of my feeling now. So, in the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, R.E.P. He had a girlfriend.
Recipes.
Like he's supposed to.
All right.
And she, of course, didn't appear anymore after that because some people say that's not even an MCU movie now. They're saying it might not even be official anymore, which is really sad. But anyway, when he reappeared in the Avengers, I don't know where, all of a sudden, Black Widow's his girlfriend-ish? And wasn't she like attracted to Captain or something before that? In the first, I haven't watched some ones in a while, the Gen 1 ones in a while.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure she premiered in Captain America.
Yep.
Or was it Winter Soldier? She premiered in Winter Soldier. And,
Wait, Black Widow?
yeah.
Oh, I thought she was in the Avengers. She began. Remember, she's in the chair. That's the first time we ever saw her.
I'm pretty sure she was, maybe that was after that then.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. But the thing, okay, so here's the
Avengers
thing.
was first.
Either way, because she's one of the few women, she's the love interest of someone different every time.
Right.
And that pisses me off. Because her central role shouldn't be the love interest of a superhero. She's a superhero, period.
Yeah.
So, to have the Hulk, who has a relationship with this great woman, all of a sudden have this other relationship with Widow just because she's the only woman in the Avengers was really frustrating. They had no connection before that. You know, her and Clint were friends. That would make sense.
Yeah.
He's married anyway, but like they had no connection before that. They met and all of a sudden they were like crushing on each other to the point where she's the only one who can communicate with them when he's the Hulk.
Right.
And that stupid lullaby thing to get him to calm down was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hated that. I was like, just because she's a woman, she has to do the emotional labor of calming down the Hulk. That's what we're gonna have the Black Widow, who's a great superhero, do. I was so mad about that. I think the way it was almost redeemed, not quite, but almost redeemed in Ragnarok when Thor was trying to, someone's getting real low, but he was so sweet and genuine with it, but it didn't work because he's a guy.
Right.
So he didn't have the emotional ability to do it. To me, that was like, it pointed out how stupid that was.
Yeah.
It was almost redeemed it. Almost.
Somehow she could cut through the Hulk, which in the universe, the Hulk it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's completely different. He has his own personality. Even when Bruce Banner comes back to, or comes out of the Hulk, he has no memory of what happened, you know. And so to me, it was kind of like her connection was to break through the Hulk's psyche into his psyche, and it's like I don't think it works like that, you know.
They said it several ways. Sometimes he'll wake up, he won't know. Like in Avengers 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure he was like, I don't remember what happened.
Right.
But then, like, in Ragnarok, he was like, it's always been Thor with one hand on the wheel, me in one hand on the wheel. But then this last time, I wasn't there. So I'm like, wait, you had a hand on the wheel before?
Yeah.
Like why? Yeah. I don't understand what's going on now.
and then it was if I remain. Or if I do something, or I can't remember what it was.
He said, if I turn back and Hulk in, I don't know if I can go back.
Yeah,
I was like, based on what?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what data are you basing that on?
Yeah. In the show, he came back every day. So, you know.
Oh, the old show.
The old show,
The Lonely Man theme.
Yeah.
Anyway, Spider-Man.
We're talking about Spider-Man, right? Okay,
I knew this would be a launch.
Of course.
I was like, as soon as I saw, let's do Spider-Man, I was like, okay, well, it's Marvel Universe time.
Well, we won't have a chance to talk about other Marvel stuff, so anytime soon.
Well, there's another reboot.
Yeah.
If X-Men come into it, we can talk about that and go at it again.
Yeah. I was gonna say end the show with Venom. Predictions of Venom, talk about that. But are we still predicting?
Go ahead. I don't have any.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any predictions for Venom. If you want to predict things, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I
saw the trailer for it, and it was a teaser trailer, so I don't know anything.
Yeah, I guess I just was.
I haven't been reading about it.
Trying to get your opinion on what you thought about it.
If it's not MCU, I hate it.
Okay.
I actually started boycotting the end of those last few X-Verse movies.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to watch another Fox Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I stopped watching them because like the Fantastic Four movies are so bad. And as it went on, the X-Men movies got worse and worse. I heard Logan was pretty good.
Oh,
Maybe I'll go back and watch
Logan was very good.
But those I saw
sadder than hell, but good.
But those last couple was like Apocalypse and Time something or other. I saw one of them, but then I literally turned off halfway through, so I was so fed up with it.
They're actually pretty good.
And then the other one I didn't bother to watch, and Logan I didn't bother to watch.
Apocalypse was okay. What was X-Men First
Futures
Class?
Past.
Futures Past, and then Apocalypse.
I watched Futures Past most of it, but I didn't like it. I don't think I watched Apocalypse.
It was strange, but it was cool to see.
They all run together.
Professor, yeah, and how everything we had watched, spoilers, everything we had seen in any X-Men movie didn't happen. That was
That's the thing. How many timelines are in that?
Of course.
I tried reading this one time, this like X-Men universe timeline, complete walkthrough, and even that, like, it was like, this might have happened. This happened in this timeline, but not in this timeline.
Right.
It was like, oh my god.
Right. But I guess there's an X-Men that can, or there's a mutant that can do that. That can transfer to other universes.
Yeah, I remember. But I don't know. I'm just over Fox making Marvel movies at this point. And after the Amazing Spider-Man Part 2, I'm over Sony making Marvel movies that aren't MCU. So if Venom's going to be not MCU, then to me it's the same category as Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I will not watch it.
Yeah. And
I don't care anymore.
Of course, I completely understand that. For me, it's like, I feel they screwed up Venom so bad in Spider-Man 3 that I want to see how they're going to fix it. Because even though the way they're doing movies now is, okay, let's do it all high schooly and let's make it very campy in the early thousands, the noughties, if I can.
The knots, okay.
The knots, yeah. And now everything has to be darker than it once was. Everything, I mean, even though The Last Jedi was supposed to be darker, it certainly didn't feel darker.
No, it felt like a comedy movie.
It felt like a comedy movie, yeah. We were in the parody. We were in the wrong theater, sorry. But this Venom, they're advertising it as much more of a dark, scary movie. And the thing that draws me to it the most is Tom Hardy, because Tom Hardy doesn't do films that are campy or cheesy. He's drawn to the script if it's dark and it makes you think about things, and I really enjoy that. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a good movie. I don't know. I enjoyed the Logan movie, which is kind of under the same license, so I'm interested to see it.
All right.
Do you
have any more predictions about Infinity Wars or future Spider-Man in the MCU?
You know, I'm after The Last Jedi, I'm trying to not predict things because that was such a disappointment. But you know what though? The more that I watch it, the more I like it. I just fast forward past the horse planet. Anyways, but back to I'm thinking either Black Widow.
It's become the name for it on the internet as the horse planet.
The horse planet.
To me, it's the gambling planet.
The gambling planet.
I don't know why you call it the horse planet.
Yeah,
it seems weird to me. I don't know.
Probably because the horses.
I mean, I get it, but of all the things you call it, I always call them the gambling planet. Then I read online horse planet. I was like, people are calling it that. Okay,
probably because it's the one thing that stands out the most. I mean, you can gamble, that's normal, but what are they doing? What are they doing with the horses?
It was a racetrack.
It was a racetrack.
They're gambling on the horses.
But are the horses sentient? They seemed like they were sentient. That was the hard part, because watching their expressions, like you knew they were sad, but on a horse you'd never know it's sad.
Have you spent time around horses?
No, I mean, I'm not saying that. Like, but they can actually make expressions with their mouths, like to be sad. They can pull their lips down, but I mean, horses don't have that ability.
Animals can do that.
Okay, but they can't. They don't have the ability to pout. A horse can. A dog can. I've seen dogs do. I've seen cats, and even cats are kind of questionable. It's just their physical makeup doesn't allow them to make those gestures.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that's what was weird about it. It was they were very anthropomorphic.
I don't want to debate sentiency amongst different alien species.
I'm not saying they're not sentient. No.
I mean, is Jar Jar?
Oh god,
all day. So.
Jar Jar could die for all I care. His whole species. I don't care.
I spec.
Yeah, I spec. The ability to speak doesn't make you intelligent.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I don't want to debate.
No, I
still want to debate Star Wars morality right now.
Okay. No, I completely agree. We would be on opposite sides, I'm sure. So,
we go all day on
yeah. But no, see, that's what I'm coming back to. I feel like Black Widow is someone has to die, and I keep going back to Black Widow because she's the only one in their universe or in this universe that can control the Hulk. And I feel like something's gonna happen to where the Hulk goes nuts, or you can't control him, or like what he said was, if I turn into him one more time, I don't know if I can come out of it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's something that they do a cliffhanger and she dies, and then he comes back and he's insane. I don't know. I hate making predictions. I hate doing it because it never happens.
You brought it up.
I know. I'm just saying. That that's what I feel. Wow.
The key is to make a lot of predictions. If one comes true, you go, look at me, I got it right.
That's right.
And then know the rest.
Oh, God, yeah, okay.
You got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on this latest episode of Revival Survival. We are not sure what we're going to do next time, so if you have any ideas, please leave a comment or tweet at us or let us know what you think, and we might do it. Who knows?
Yep. I don't know.
We have a few ideas we're definitely kicking around, but we're open to suggestions for the next episode or for future episodes, rather. Maybe not the next one, but future.
We could say 3 and then they choose vote or whatever.
Yeah, we could.
Do we even have that kind of followership? Probably not.
No.
No, we don't.
Most people that listen to are my family. Okay?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad-in-law.
Tell us if we got anything wrong this time.
But yeah, anyone hears us has suggestions, please let us know. We're excited to keep doing this. It might be a couple weeks till we have another episode because I'm busy this week. Olympics are on.
Life and stuff. But we'll see you next time on Revival Survival.
I'm Nathan Grayjack.
And I'm Eric Sajak.
Follow us at Revival_podcast and look for us on YouTube.
And like and subscribe because I don't do anything else on the internet.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Cue Spider-Man music.